I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight because Crawford has a unique talent, and and I don't think that Terence can hurt Canelo, but Canelo can hurt Terence.
The possibility of a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has been making waves recently, with reports suggesting the two are in discussions for a showdown. As the fight edges closer, Bob Arum has surprised many by taking a major U-turn on his earlier prediction on this fight. For a long time, the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has been hanging in the balance. While Turki Alalshik and Crawford showed interest in making the fight happen, Canelo remained silent, leaving fans wondering if it would ever come to fruition. Boxing journalist Rick Glazer has now locked in an update, revealing that Canelo is close to signing a 3-fight deal with Alalshik. Glazer confirmed on X, Canelo is in the process of signing a 3-fight deal with Turki Alalshik, which will include a mega fight with Terence Crawford in September. It'll be by far the biggest fight in boxing this year, nothing else compares. And smartly, Crawford has agreed to no rehydration clause. With this update, the long-awaited fight is now inching closer to becoming a reality. Amid the growing buzz around this fight, Turki Alalshik has added his own humorous twist to the confirmation news. In a playful move, Alalshik shared a 10-second video on his X account, showing Canelo, Crawford, and himself on a video call. While the video had no sound, it sparked curiosity about what was being discussed. Alalshik humorously captioned the video, "This is from a few days ago. We are not talking about boxing." He went on to joke that instead of discussing boxing, they were talking about a video game he's been promoting. In his typical sarcastic tone, Alalshik added, "We decided that we won't do a boxing fight because all three of us hate boxing, and we decided to choose yoga instead." Ending his post on a more serious note, Alalshik stated, "Continue talking and continue spreading rumors at the end. Only the three of us know and decide what and when and where things happen." This statement, while playful, reflects the secrecy and unpredictability of major fight negotiations. The Saudi advisor, known for his enthusiasm about making this fight a reality, clearly meant the post as a joke, as Turki Alalshik has recently made it clear that one of his top priorities for 2025 is seeing a showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Speaking to Froch on Fighting, Alalshik mentioned he hopes to see this fight before the year ends, along with other potential clashes like Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua and Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia's rematch.
To the last fight, which was Fury-Usyk, the rematch, and it was different again. I mean, no, I'm not talking about from when I was there with AJ and the fight with Ruiz. I'm just talking about from when I've seen it on the television, because when I was there last month for that fight, I was very impressed. I'm not just saying it for the sake of it, because I shoot from the hip and I tell the truth. And I said on the night, I really enjoyed my night. The production, the arena, the atmosphere, it was different. But it was, it was enjoyable.
Was more than 6,000 from Britain.
It's clear that the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is on the horizon, with only time revealing the true details. The rivalry between the two is already heating up, generating significant tension not only inside the ring, but through their words as well. Canelo recently made a bold statement, claiming Crawford's record lacks the kind of wins needed to truly be considered a champion. He pointed out that Crawford's most significant victory was against Errol Spence, and dismissed other fighters as not being on the same level.
I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is. Yes. But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence.
The statement has sparked a fierce response from Crawford, who took to X to remind Canelo of his accomplishments and warned him about underestimating his abilities. Crawford's tweet sharply responded saying, "So out of all the fighters I've faced, only one has been good. I take note of that. Just remember what he said, because I've always had the pleasure of making a fighter who is someone end up looking like a nobody." This exchange has further stoked the fire, making their eventual showdown not just a battle in the ring, but a personal one too. While fans eagerly await the clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, not everyone shares the same optimism about the fight happening. Eddie Hearn, who has worked closely with Canelo, recently shared his thoughts on the situation. According to Hearn, despite the push from His Excellency and others, Canelo doesn't seem eager to take on Crawford, expressing doubts about the matchup. Hearn recalled a conversation with the Mexican boxer where Canelo shared that after defeating Crawford, many would dismiss the victory, labeling Bud as a 154-pounder.
I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something that Canelo was really up for, to be honest. And like, when I've spoken to Canelo before about that fight, I think he's kind of feeling is, when I beat Crawford, everyone's going to say I've beaten a 154-pounder.
Hearn also pointed out that at this stage of Canelo's career, he's looking for opponents who would engage and come forward in the ring, a style Crawford may not adopt. Hearn emphasized that Crawford wouldn't be able to approach the fight the way he usually does due to this massive size gap. Based on these factors, Hearn believes that the fight between Canelo and Crawford is unlikely to happen.
And he also, I think at his age as well, I don't think he wants to be fighting guys that are just moving all the time, and he wants people to come to fight. And Crawford can't really come to fight like that in that fight because he's at a massive size disadvantage and he can't be standing in front of him. I don't think that fight will happen.
Mikey Garcia, the former unified lightweight champion, shared a similar viewpoint on this matchup. Speaking with Fight Hub TV, Garcia expressed reservations about the fight, pointing out the significant gap in weight classes. While acknowledging Crawford's exceptional skills, Garcia highlighted the physical advantage that Canelo holds.
I'm not a big fan of that fight matchmaking because they're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen.
He noted that Crawford recently moved up to 154 pounds and faced challenges, while Canelo is an established force at 168 pounds.
Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154. And he has some trouble with that in that fight.
Garcia firmly believes that size and power will play a decisive role, tipping the scales in Canelo's favor. He remarked that while Crawford may be the more technically skilled fighter, the disparity in size would ultimately determine the outcome.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight.
Demetrius Andrade has also offered his honest take on the matchup. Andrade acknowledged Crawford's skills, but emphasized that Canelo's physicality and experience would be hard to overcome. He compared Canelo to a fierce wolf, noting that while Crawford has the ability to compete, Canelo's defensive skills and agility make him a formidable opponent. Canelo's ability to take punches and block power shots sets him apart, and Andrade believes that could be a deciding factor in the fight.
Where's that? Let's fight. I think Crawford has the skills, but when it comes to start getting shots and blocking them power shots, and Canelo knows how to move too, he has agility. It's not like a robot. It's going to be tough.
Despite his belief that Crawford won't be able to defeat Canelo, Andrade still sees the potential for an exciting contest. He predicts that Crawford will be able to make the fight competitive, but ultimately, the size, power, and experience of Canelo will prove too much. Andrade concluded by expressing his anticipation for the fight, saying he'll be watching it closely.
My opinion is my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think Crawford can beat Canelo. But do I think he can give him a good fight? And I'll be sitting there rooting for Crawford all day.
While many in the boxing world lean toward Canelo Alvarez as the favorite in this potential mega fight, former two-weight world champion and now boxing analyst Tim Bradley has taken a contrasting stance. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Bradley boldly predicted a dominant performance by Terence Crawford, stating his belief in Crawford's ability to dismantle Alvarez in the ring. Bradley shared that a late-night study session of both fighters' styles solidified his view. Confident in his assessment, he asserted that Crawford is poised to decisively defeat Alvarez, even describing it as a performance where Crawford would beat the brakes off of Canelo. His strikingly direct opinion adds fuel to the ongoing debate surrounding the much-anticipated bout.
Just got done. I woke up 3 a.m. I don't know, someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he is.
Former promoter of Terence Bob Arum, who once confidently predicted that Canelo Alvarez would dominate Terence Crawford, has made a notable shift in his stance. When the fight was first discussed, Arum was confident that Canelo would dominate Crawford, stating that while he admired Crawford's skills, the Mexican champion's experience and power would make the difference. Arum had even predicted that Crawford wouldn't be able to hurt Canelo, but the reverse was true for the undefeated American, who would find himself outmatched by Canelo's physicality.
I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition. It's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner. Canelo is used to fighting at a particular level, and and I don't think that Terence can hurt Canelo, but Canelo can hurt Terence.
However, Arum's perspective has changed dramatically since then. The 93-year-old boxing veteran now acknowledges Crawford's unique qualities, such as his ambidextrous style, which gives him an edge against opponents who are unprepared for a switch-hitting boxer. Arum pointed to Crawford's ability to frustrate his rivals by constantly switching stances, a tactic that caused Errol Spence a great deal of trouble.
Well, I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight because Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer puncher, and he is totally ambidextrous. So he drives his opponent crazy because the opponent trains to fight a right-handed fighter and ends up fighting a southpaw. And that's what happened to what's his name?
Errol?
Errol,
Yeah.
Errol, yeah.
Errol Spence.
Spence trained to fight a right-handed fighter, and all he saw was a southpaw fight.
Arum has also hinted at the growing anticipation for a fight between Crawford and Canelo, drawing comparisons to the legendary bouts of the past, such as Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar de la Hoya. With the changes in his opinion, it's clear that Arum now sees this as a much more competitive matchup, with Crawford's unpredictable and versatile style offering a real challenge to the Mexican superstar.
I think what Crawford is looking for is Manny Pacquiao de la Hoya fight.
David Benavidez recently acknowledged Crawford's technical skills, but expressed concerns about his power at higher weight classes. Benavidez stated that while Crawford is undoubtedly one of the best technical fighters he has ever seen, his power seemed to diminish when he moved up to 154 pounds. He explained, "To be honest with you, Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I have ever seen. When he went to 154, I'm not saying he had problems, but he looked like he didn't have the power he had at 147, and he'd still have to come up 2 or 3 weight classes." Despite his admiration for Crawford's skills, Benavidez added, "Crawford is a one-of-a-kind fighter, but weight classes must be respected. I'd give Canelo the edge." As the Canelo versus Terence Crawford fight continues to ignite debates, veteran trainer Teddy Atlas has made his bold prediction. On the Fight with Teddy Atlas show, Atlas made it clear that he is leaning toward Crawford for the win. While acknowledging Canelo's greatness, he emphasized that Crawford is an even more exceptional talent. According to Atlas, Crawford has not only the physical skills, but also the unique qualities that set him apart. Atlas believes Crawford's special ingredients go beyond the physical, further solidifying his confidence in Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo. Teofimo Lopez, who recently joined Canelo Alvarez's training camp, is in a unique position to weigh in on this potential fight. Given his own experience in high-profile matchups, Lopez shared his thoughts and backed Canelo. He called the fight a big money fight and emphasized that fans would win no matter who comes out on top. When it comes to the actual fight, Lopez believes that Crawford will initially give Canelo a hard time. He explained, "I think Crawford is going to give Canelo a hard time in the beginning, but once Canelo gets a little bit comfortable in that ring, adapting to Crawford's style, we see Canelo finishing him off in the late rounds." His take reflects the growing excitement and varied opinions surrounding this potential showdown. Shakur Stevenson has expressed his firm belief that Terence Crawford could easily handle Canelo Alvarez in the ring. Speaking to TalkSport Boxing, Stevenson revealed that he's been advocating for this fight for years, even before Crawford himself was vocal about it. He explained that while it wouldn't be a walk in the park, Crawford's style is perfectly suited to defeat Canelo. Stevenson confidently added that Crawford could make the fight look easier than expected.
Honestly, I've been saying this for years now. I think I'm probably one of the first people that have been said this. Even before Terence was saying this, like, I always thought that his style versus Canelo, I think that he beats Canelo. I ain't gonna say it'd be an easy fight, but he can make it a very easy fight. So.
In a related comment, TalkSport pundit Gareth A. Davies noted that when he ran into Crawford in Dubai, he was surprised by the fighter's physical condition. Davies pointed out that Crawford has thickened out recently, which could play a key role in how he handles Canelo in a potential matchup.
And I ran into Terence in Dubai, and he's much thicker now, isn't he? He's really thickened out recently. And he's 38, for God's sake. He has thickened out.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I don't think Canelo is just walking through his punches. Terence can punch, and I think it goes for any weight class.
The potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is a highly anticipated matchup that has sparked a lot of debate and predictions. Both fighters are champions in their respective weight classes, with Crawford known for his versatility and boxing skills, while Canelo is praised for his power and aggressive style. Promoter Bob Arum also made an interesting shift in his prediction, suggesting that Canelo's power could prove to be a decisive factor. This change has fans and analysts reconsidering their outlook on the fight, making it even more unpredictable and exciting. If you found this video informative, don't forget to hit like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Bob Arum's updated prediction about Canelo's power? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.